Okay, so we've called it the dragon strategy. You know what is, because I mean this is end time battle and it has to do with Revelation, the book of Revelation, and then all these monsters and creatures that are being described. Everything. All we've heard all through the years is the Loch Ness monster. In Scotland. Um, but there are obviously a whole lot more, and there's also the octopus, which is very strong in the sea, all the sea creatures. So, yeah, it started off, Carmen, when we started looking at the whole dragon strategy, was that we picked up, you know, we'd heard of dinosaurs, and there was a stage where, the children would buy bedding and, anything to do with dinosaurs and clothing and whatever to do with dinosaurs. And then they had made studies and they made the sizes and they could give names and there was a whole thing. But what came through that we heard was that the dinosaurs after the flood, the diet changed, and they started to eat meat, and the dinosaurs changed as everything changed on the earth, because man was then allowed to eat meat, to go hunting and to eat meat. Up until then, it was just grain and plants, and so obviously DNA changes, things change because now you meat eating. And so they reckon that the dinosaur was like the transition that went into the dragon, when the meat eating came along. So that was an interesting statement, just to think about. I found that fascinating. All right, so the end time plan, we want to equip the people, and prepare them for the end time. I mean, that's really what we feel that our calling is. And I'm sure that's what you feel your calling is as well. And, the whole thing around mind control that we also work with. And then we had the survivor who told us that she is a dragon rider. She was born from a dragon egg. And we understand also that there's illusion, that she, was put into an egg, and they gave her this idea. So we had to sort of and try and understand that and not discredit her, because we know there's bad news out there. We know there are bad guys out there, and obviously, they have prepared this, and she's in her 60s. So it shows you how long this has been going on and how the prepping has been, going on already. It's a long time, and so we just had to dig and say, okay, what is the end time plan? What must we learn? Because I'm sure that if we're not prepared, we're going to be pretty afraid, and shocked. And the Bible says that people are going to even have heart attacks when they see what's really coming. So it's really going to, people's hearts will fail, because of all the fear. So if we can prepare and know how to stand and not run away and know that God has got our back, and that Jesus, Yeshua, is the dragon slayer. I mean, he's the one that can deal with all of this. Okay, so we read right in the book in the Bible from the beginning. We read about the woman and the whole thing about she's going to bring forth. This is Revelation, and then we also pull it through to Eve, Adam and Eve. How things were prophesied from the beginning, and we read that there's a woman that brings forth a child, and it says, "Woe to those who are on the earth, because the dragon has now stood up. It's now the time of the dragon." And he talks about this woman that's going to bring a child. And since we know that the child is Jesus, Yeshua, we can interpret the imagery of the woman to be Israel or Mary. And so we can start reading the story of the word and understand that Jesus is the one that's really going to come and help us to deal with this at the end. And we see that Mary, being the mother of Jesus, comes to give birth to this baby. And then, whatever happens afterwards with this child that grows up, and then the dragon.